Hi, Cubs. This is Brown Bear here. Today I have a lovely suggestion from an individual named Elizabeth. So I just like to talk about, and not in any sort of format, just kind of free talk, what I can do to kind of limit oversensitivity. I have ADHD, and oftentimes I feel like I'm too overstimulated with auditory stimulation. And when there's too much noise, it gets kind of hectic for me. It's really annoying also. Whenever my family is over, the whole family, there's a lot of people. And so I like to have one headphone in my ear because I can play some music that I know, some Joji or John Mayer, two artists that I pretty much know all of their songs, and I can listen to them and it calms me down. So I'll keep one ear open, the other ear I'll have a earbud in, and I'll just put on the music on low. And it's nice to just have some music playing. It's also really tough when you're trying to talk to someone, especially us folk that have autism or ADHD. We don't really get social cues, and it's very difficult for us to regulate our emotions. And so it's difficult when we're talking to someone and they're using some social cue that we don't understand, or worse off, something that we don't even know. And I know that for me especially, I have difficulty maintaining eye contact. I've developed that where I'm able to look at someone in the eye if I have, an interview, and I'm able to look at them for 20 minutes. But it's very difficult because towards the end, I'll be looking at their nose or in between their eyes or on their forehead, or one eye to the other eye. I'll do that a lot, where I'll look at their face and then I'll panic that I shouldn't be looking at their face or their hair. Then I'll look at each individual eye and I'll overthink about it so much that my eyes just keep darting around, and it's really uncomfortable for me and really annoying. Especially one thing that Elizabeth mentioned in her comments was wanting to go home. I often like to do that when I'm hanging out with my friends. My social battery can go from 20% to 0 in a matter of seconds. And I'm in the very privileged position. I have a car, so I can leave my friends home whenever I want. And I'll just be like, hey, okay, we're talking. And then there's a lull in the conversation, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm leaving, bye. I'm very privileged that I can leave very quickly. But I would recommend, Elizabeth, having a conversation with your friends, saying, look, I have ADHD, and sometimes my social battery gets drained very quickly. For me personally, Brown Bear, I know that I have a very small social battery, and it takes a lot out of me. If I'm hanging out with family one day of the weekend, I can't hang out with my friends on the other day of the weekend. It's just not possible. I get too burnt out and I need to recharge. And it's very tough when I have to do a lot of things. I have to be social many days in a row, or many days, one after the other. And it's really tough. I know that you mentioned that you want to stim openly, which I would recommend just doing it openly. I would recommend picking up productive stimming habits. I used to bite my nails, which is horrible, and then I started getting manicures, and then because they look nice, I don't do them as much. I don't bite my nails as much, but I still do stim by, playing with my facial hair, or I'll have little toys around in my car. And I would recommend just doing it openly. If you have, some little toys, just do it. I understand that sometimes people will want to play with your toys and they may not understand. And it's difficult, especially if you're meeting someone new and you have like a fidget spinner or something, or something in your hand, like a little toy, and they want to see it and they want to play with it. And you're just like, no, it's mine. I don't like you. It's very difficult for that. So, if you have something in your pocket, something small like a fidget cube, I would recommend. If you have like a jacket pocket and you can keep it in there. If you have friends that you hang out with regularly, I would just recommend talking to them and having a conversation, saying, look, I have ADHD. My social battery drains a lot quicker than you guys, and sometimes I just want to be alone. I value my independence. And that's not a comment on you or, how entertaining you are as friends. This is just simply me. Sometimes I just like to be alone sometimes. And when you frame it like that, and you frame it as this is pertaining to my mental health, most people will understand. And if they don't, well, they're not your friends. If they don't respect what you're saying, and if you're saying it out of a place of love, and you're saying it, look, this is me, and this is who I am, this is what I need from you guys, and I need you, I'm gonna try to put my foot forward and walk 2 steps, but I want you to walk 2 steps to me too, so that our friendship can be the best it can be. And if you don't have friends like that, then look for more friends. I know that's just an easy thing to say, but really do. I have a couple friends who know me, and I've had conversations like that with them. They've been very accommodating. They know that if I'm not looking at them, if I'm looking off around, that does not mean that I'm not listening to them. If I'm playing games while we're on a FaceTime call, that does not mean that I'm not paying attention to them. If I'm playing with something in my hand, that does not mean that I'm not paying attention to them. A lot of these examples have to do with paying attention to people, but it is a big problem for me, especially with new friends, and having that conversation. Look, when I play with little things in my hands, it's easier to listen to you. And I understand that you mentioned a video idea for a trip to the mall with a group of friends. I made 2 of those, and I hope that they are what you wanted. And I understand that there can be so much stimulation of lights and sound and smells, and your friends are talking, and it's very difficult to try and focus on them and talk to them. But it's just so hard, and I completely understand. It is very, very hard to try and try to mask yourself into being quote unquote normal. But guess what? You are normal, because that's who you are. You are everything that makes up you. And so you shouldn't be ashamed of anything. So again, have a conversation with your friends and say, this is me. I like to do this. Please don't ask to play with my stimming toys. I'd recommend having that conversation early on, because that happens. And for me also, if I'm at the mall, again, I would have one headphone in one ear and a free ear in the other, so I can listen to something calming and I can still pay attention to what they're talking about. And I'm reading your comment right now. I completely understand when you don't get a joke and you're asking them to repeat it, and then they just get frustrated because it's not funny anymore. It's very frustrating. I really don't have a solution for that, but just trying to understand people's wavelength. It's a little bit harder. You have to spend some one-on-one time and see what their kind of humor is. Especially if you're in a group, it's harder to kind of get to know every single person. Um, but yeah, if you connect with one or two people more in a friend group, then I would say, you know, talk to them and get to know them a little bit more, so you can kind of find out what their humor is like, so you can understand what they think is funny and how you would respond in that moment. But yeah, I hope you like this video. I know this is not the usual videos I make. This is more of a free talk. But yeah, this is more of just a direct response to you, Elizabeth, and I hope you like it. Tell me if you have any more suggestions. And yeah, again, I hope this helped.